CQ, this is Mike Zero, Alpha Uniform Golf. Calling all members and friends for the Denby Dale Amateur Radio Digital Net for this evening. Not too many was on this evening. Andrew has been on earlier on and said that he's going down to take some photographs on the marsh, with the weather being so nice as well. So how many get on this evening, I don't know. With myself, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I think, with Mike now Chandler as well. See how we go. If anybody else would rather be sitting outside enjoying the weather, that's fine by me. Over to you then for starters, Nick. G4IW in the group, M0AUG. Good evening, Nick.
M0AUG in the group from G4IW. Oh, yeah, good evening, Jeff, and good evening to those who are on the net and those listening on YouTube and those catching up later in the week. Good to see people tonight. It's been a beautiful day here in England. Temperatures currently 19 degrees at the home QTH, peaked at 24, but we at least had some sunshine. Following on from yesterday, where I took the opportunity to go and activate the Pennine Bridleway for 3 hours yesterday afternoon and had great fun, but I'll tell you more about that later on. So that's it for me for the moment, Jeff. Back to you. M0AUG in the group G4IWO.
G4IWO in group M0AUG returning. Yes, fine on that, Nick, and I've seen your various postings on the WhatsApp channel as well. Very interesting. And over to you there, Dave, down in Taunton now, and I hope things are better with you this week than they were last. G607 in the group, M0AUG. Good evening, Dave.
M0AUG G607. It sounds like I'm having trouble with my hotspot check because I'm losing you, Nick, so I'll have a play and adjust it during the net. Yeah, good evening to yourself, everyone else on the net, everyone who's listening or watching. Yes, thank you. Things are a lot better now. Still getting very slight headaches, but other than that, no other residue problems. I did let my doctor know what had happened, and I won't tell you her comments, but they were quite funny actually. So yeah, I'm still around, and I took the week off this week to have a good rest up. So everything's going as it should do, I think. Back to you, AUG in the group G6ZSN.
G607 in the group M0AUG returning. Yeah, fine on that. I met the doctor around to you and said, oh no, not you again. There you go. So pleased to hear you back on where you want to be there, Dave, and perhaps it was the best thing to do today, the week off there. Over to Golden Jury now. DL1BJW with DL8 to the PUT. Good evening to you both, Mike and Adriana. Hope all is well with you.
Delta Lima 1 Bravo Juliet Whiskey. Good evening to all of you, and glad to be here again and hear your voices. We are okay over here. WX has been quite good today, but as always, WX forecast for tomorrow, lots of rain and perhaps even some severe thunderstorms with hail and whatnot. So let's wait and see. We have been lucky here in the northwestern part of Germany until now for several weeks, while in the southern part of Germany and the western part of Germany, the Rhine Valley especially, has been under very severe WX and very big problems there. We have been lucky until now, and we keep our fingers crossed for the future. Otherwise, we just looked into the newscast here on the TV and were informed about the heat dome in the USA, especially in the northeastern part. We very sincerely hope that Bob will not be affected there, and for XAT, or will be well anyway, and that everything is okay over there. Perhaps he is participating. Otherwise, if he is listening, best wishes, Bob. Listening on YouTube, I should say. So I'm passing the microphone to Delta Lima 8 Bravo Delta Tango.
It's very good evening to all of you. This is Delta Lima 8 Bravo Delta Tango. Good to hear you all again. And yes, as Mike just said, weather conditions here are quite strange and changing always. And yes, good news from my side. The Zygo G90 has been tested by me during the last week and is working well. So that's good news. And the conditions here, radio-wise, are not so good at the moment, but I think there will be some testing, perhaps mobile, during the further weeks. So I hand the microphone back to M0 AUG for the group.
DLAPT with DL1BJ here in the group M0H returning. Yes, fine and that, and I've just noticed that Bob has connected, so I'll put you up in a minute, Bob, after we've spoken to Jeff in Belgium. It's great to have you back on with us. And thanks for your updates, Mike and Adriana. We'll come round another time on that. Over to you there, Jeff in Belgium. Oscar and Bader, the Tango in the group. M0AUG.
M0 AUG, the group for 8 November Tango. A very good evening or a very good afternoon to you, Bob, there at the State. Hope everything is well there. A very good day to everyone on YouTube. And very good news, Adriana, that your G90 seems to work okay. So that's really good news. And temperature-wise, well, we had 18 degrees. We had a beautiful day today. Yesterday also, although the days before was rainy, windy, thunderlight and storm, and tomorrow we will have more or less the same weather as you in northern Germany there, which is rain and thunderstorm and so on. So I have my 6-meter antenna down for a couple of days already, so I've seen that I missed a lot of stateside 6-meter digs here from Europe. So that's a pity, but I think from Sun the weather will be better, and then I will put everything up again. Okay, no. So maybe we could make a contact on 6 meters with Bob. You never know. Okay, no. Mike 0 AUG, the group of 8 November Tango.
On 8 November Tango in the group M0AUG returning. Yes, fine on that, Jeff. And yeah, the weather's been variable where we are, just on the north coast, northwest coast of England, and we've had some quite heavy rain. And also, like today's been absolutely glorious, sunshine wise. And I didn't make a note of the temperature. I think when I went out to the car earlier on down to the supermarket, it was about 22, 23, so quite warm enough for me. Right, over to Bob now. Bob, it's absolutely great to have you back with us again. And I personally did watch the YouTube video of the ship leaving the dry dock, so that was interesting as well. So welcome back, Bob. November 4 X-ray Alpha Tango in the group, M0AUG.
N4X.
M0AUG with group November 4 X-ray Alpha Tango. I got on while Adrian was transmitting, but I was involved with the return of the ship. Looks right now we're going to be able to get back on board the 27th. Of course, I won't be aboard until the 29th, when I hope to get back to normal operation. I hope the conditions are better on the ship since I've returned home.
we've done a 180-degree turn in reception here since the time I left back in May until now. When I left, signals were all outstanding. Now I'm lucky to hear anything, even on 20 meters. And normally in the morning when I come out here, I go to 40 meters, and 40 meters it is starting to die, but I make several contacts on 40, and now I switch to 20. Right now, 40 and 20 are dead. I am picking up a bit on 15, but very, very little. So I hope that it isn't just something I have wrong here, and that's happening all over, but I'm not sure of that yet. As far as the ship goes, they have to get what they call the hotel facilities back before we're allowed to do anything, which is the water supply and the electrical. When they disconnected the electrical, they had some problems with the coating on the electrical, so they had to replace that. But from what I understand, that should all be taken care of this week, and by the 29th, we should be allowed back on board, hopefully. I have to admit, I am looking forward to it. And I haven't looked to see, but if Nick is on, hey Nick, yesterday I followed you all over the place, hoping, but I just couldn't hear you at all. But I did try while you were up there transmitting, and I checked even the USB frequencies. I checked, Nick. So there you go. And today, of course, with the station on, I couldn't hear anything on 40 meters. So back to you, Jeff. M0AUG with the group, November 4 X-ray Alpha Tango, and it's nice to be home again. Before X-ray Alpha Tango in the group, M0AUG returning, and certainly welcome home, Bob. And it's glad to have you back on the net again. I think it was, I'm just looking back on my log. It was probably beginning of May, I think, last time we were able to have you on the net. So it was quite a while there. So you've certainly been missed, and I'm glad you're back with us there, Bob. Actually, top of the list again now. I don't know who's on YouTube, Nick, but I'm sure you'll tell us. G4IWO in the group, M0AUG.
M0AUG in the group from G4IWO. Yes, first of all, to Bob, it is great to hear you back on the radio, and you're back at your home, and hope that you've soon settled back to your own surroundings. And good to have you back on the net as well. Yeah, the weather, the radio conditions have been very poor for a few weeks now, to be perfectly frank, Bob. And I did check the reverse beacon network yesterday from my CW CQ calls, and I wasn't getting outside of Western Europe. And it was therefore a big surprise when I got called yesterday from the States. I haven't checked to see what kind of antenna system he was running, but I got a very strong a QSO with K2 Uniform Papa Delta, K2 UPD, somewhere there on the eastern side. But he was the single US station I worked, which was okay. I had a lot of fun, but as you say, Bob, someone's turned off the propagation, haven't they, in the last few weeks? And to Adriana, I'm really, really pleased that you've got your G90 back and it's working and doing what you expect it to do. So that's a very good bit of news. From YouTube listeners, Andy, Goal 2 Echo 0 Romeo Echo Echo, just says good evening to everybody. So good evening to you, Andy, and nice to have you back in the net. So back to you, Jeff. M0AUG in the group, G4IWO.
G4IWO in the group, M0AUG. And good evening to you, Andy, there on the YouTube channel. And hope you enjoy the net this evening. And nothing to report radio-wise at all this week for myself. I did the Oldham net on Sunday morning, and absolutely nothing since. We've had quite a bit going on. as most of you know. And so it's been a few hospital visits and things like that, but everything is going well. And I hope all is going to be well with you there, Mike, when we get over to you again. Right, over to you there, Dave, G6 in the group, M0AG.
M0AUG in the group, G6ZSN, and good evening to Bob, and welcome back to the group. Sorry about why you had to leave us for a while. Hope everything's going better for you. Radio-wise, as everyone has said, it's about as dead as a doornail. I've tried various bands at various times of the day and ended up switching the radios off. It's just not worth it. So I've just been contemplating using them one day. I managed to get my hotspot sorted out. I've adjusted it slightly, but we've changed my bedroom around, so the radio's in a slightly different place. Hotspot's still where it usually is, but you know, the radio signals can be a funny thing, and it'll be the same next week because we're going to paint the room over the weekend. But never mind. Weather-wise, it's been a beautiful day. Actually managed to get out for a walk with my wife and went down the river for the first time this year. So that was nice. It was dry as well, which made it even better. Hopefully Andrew will get some good photographs down at the marshes. I think he said he was hoping to get sunset. I was up when it was sunrise this morning, and it was an absolutely beautiful, stunning sunrise. So if he gets the same sunset, it'll be a good night for him. M0AUG in the group, G6ZSN.
AUG returning. Yeah, fine on that, Dave. And I can understand his enthusiasm, speaking as a former professional photographer many, many years ago. And Andrew and I have already had discussions on 6x6 format on some of the old cameras, like the Hasselblad and things like that. So yeah, I don't blame him for doing that, and I'm always grateful when people can let us know that they're not going to be on the net in the evening. Please see that things are a lot better with you this week, Dave, and your hospital's working better than it was on the first week. Back over to Germany now. DL1 BJW, DL8 PET. Over to you, please.
Thank you. Delta Lima 1 Bravo Juliet Whiskey. First of all, delighted to have Bob back on the net here. And of course, hearing all of you also there, and greetings to Andy on YouTube. Propagation. It has been really disappointing. I can confirm what all speakers have said as far. There seems to be a kind of propagation dome over our region here. We have great difficulties to hear the stations we used to hear in the last weeks, and propagation has turned very, very bad on the whole. But sometimes in between, the situation gets a little bit better, but not for long. At last weekend there was the CW contest, and I worked China, Japan, and Kazakhstan. That was very nice. Also had FT8 contacts into New Caledonia, surprisingly, and Gabon, Tango Romeo 8. But otherwise, nothing doing, nothing. I even had difficulties to receive the usual VK and ZL stations, which I could hear a few weeks ago very clearly, especially on SSB, nothing, but also on CW. I think Dave used the idiom "dead as a doornail," and that describes it very perfectly. But nevertheless, Today I got mail and a QSL card in it from 3 Golf 0 Yankee Alpha, which is Easter Island, which I worked in happier times in CW, and that gave me quite a kick, and I was very glad about that. So some kind of compensation for that propagation, which is everyday experience now, unfortunately. So passing the microphone to Delta Lima 8 Bravo Delta Tango.
Yeah, this is Delta Lima 8 Bravo Delta Tango for the group. Yes, Nick, we yesterday we had been outside and had put an antenna up on our car and my USDX, and we tried to do some CW QSOs in the afternoon, and just without success. I made some tests there, and on reverse beacon network I have been heard all over Europe, I think, in Finland and Southern Europe. But yes, we tried to pick you up, but there was no chance before, because there have been many European stations there who made it not possible to pick up your signal. Unfortunately, this was a pity. But let's hope for better times, and let's hope that the situation will be better again. And but congrats to your contact to the US under this very, very strange conditions. I remember times when the sunspot cycle was a little bit less good, when we had been able to make contacts in SSB to the US at this time of the day, and yes, it was nothing to be heard or to be reached yesterday, even in CW, which made it a little bit better to contact. I think this is all what I have to report at the moment, so I hand the microphone back to M0AUG for the group.
With Dale on BJW, M0AUG returning. Yes, final one. And sorry, I missed last time. I was about to say, good job you got the Zygo back, and look forward to hearing the results from that. I've just noticed that I've got a friend from the Oldham Radio Club has logged on to Module D, and I'll pick you up in a few minutes, Lee, once we've been over to Belgium and to Bob in the US. So it's a very good welcome to M6LKW. So, over to you there, Jeff. Oscar November 8 November Tango in the group, M0AUG.
M0AUG, the group 8 November Tango. Yeah, okay. And first of all, welcome back, Bob. Very nice that you are back here, and you are absolutely right about the conditions. You actually didn't miss anything, I think, during those weeks. Although during a couple of days in my sunset, around 10 o'clock in the evening, I managed to work some Japanese stations on 17 meters, strangely enough, and even on 15 meters, but mostly on 15 meters. But that is more or less what I was able to work. I was very happy yesterday to work Nick on his PUBA activation, and this afternoon, just a couple of 2 hours ago, I think around 6 o'clock my local evening time, here I worked 10 G4 Victor Zulu Victor portable, also on 40 meters, so that was quite nice. But furthermore, not much conditions. My fridge freezer problem has been solved. I got a new one. He was under guarantee, so I got a new fridge freezer. which has been delivered yesterday, and today we put that into service. So that's one of the problems solved, each eye. I have been playing a little bit with FreeDV on my Windows computer now, because I have it already installed on my Linux, but I have it installed on my Windows computer. But of course, because of the conditions, not much activity. And locally also, we are planning here to have a M17 repeater. M17 is just another digital mode like we have D-Star and DMR and so on and so on. But we will have an M17 repeater here in, well, maybe 10 kilometers or 15 kilometers from my house. And we have been experimenting with that during some evenings, and that was also quite interesting. Okay, back to you. Today, good evening to Andy on YouTube and all the others on YouTube. Mike Zero AUG, the group coordinator, November Tango.
Good evening, on the Tango in the group M0 AUG returning. Yeah, fine enough, Jeff. I must admit I don't know anything about M17 at all at the moment, but no doubt it's on the learning curve, and we'll find out about in due course. Fine on the fridge freezer. We had a similar thing a few months ago, and got one replaced on the warranty, but you know, quite an interesting one. We were able to actually specify the exact model of fridge freezers that we had in the first place. So when they took the old one out, the new one slotted straight in. So we're very pleased about that. So over to you there, Bob. November 4 X-ray Alpha Tango in the group. M0AUT. I get 0 Alpha Uncle George with the group, November 4 X-ray Alpha Tango. First of all, good evening to Andy, RNARS 5016. I am RNARS 4783, and welcome aboard, Andy. Glad that you're monitoring us. Next, thank you for the sympathy card from the Denby Dale group. I was surprised when I get mail from the UK. It always has a custom sticker on the back of it, even though it's just a card, which really is shocking to me that you have to put a customs card on a postal note. But there you go. Every country is a bit different, I guess. Congratulations to you, Nick, for that K2UPD. He's a little north of me up in Jamestown, New York. But maybe one of these days we'll be able to get through to you on POTA. And I do appreciate you putting your spots on the POTA app, because I watch that continually, just about, and that's how I get most of my contacts. I find out what frequencies that they're on or near, and then look for them. So I appreciate that, Nick. Today with Ken, of course, no luck on 40 meters, because 40 meters after about 8 o'clock in the morning here isn't very good until the evening again. So Ken, even though I did listen for you this morning, I couldn't hear anything at all on 40 meters. Let's see if I have anything else written down here. I think that's about it. So back to you, Jeff, and it is great to be back on and hearing your voices again. Of course, while I was gone, on occasion I was able to listen to you on YouTube. So thanks again for sharing us this meeting on YouTube. I do appreciate that. M0AUG was a group, November 4, X-ray Alpha Tango. And for X-ray team, the group M0AUG returning. Sorry about that then, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen. Domestic interruption there. Back with you. And yeah, it was good to keep in touch with you, Bob Boss, even though you weren't available to come on. But we knew that you were keeping in touch with us on the YouTube channel. And after the Super, we've got you on again this evening. Right. Over to my friend from the Oldham Radio Club who's been trying out the radio. M6LKW. If you don't want to join in or just want to listen, Millie, absolutely fine. If you want to come in, over to you now. M6LKW in the group, M0AUG. This time from M6LKW. Lee was having trouble actually getting into the nets on Sunday morning. He was okay on receive, but had some setting difference on his DMR radio to get him onto the net. I'll give you a call next time around, Lee, but at least you can listen. You're very welcome. G4IWO in the group, M0AUG.
M0AUG in the group from G4IWO. Yeah, thanks very much for that, and to Bob. Yeah, I do love that POTA app and the fact that you can post up there in real time your frequency and changes and so on. It does make it easier if you're looking to work a particular station. Ken and I were having a long chat last night in the evening about POTA, and just we were both saying how much we've enjoyed it since trying it out. I mean, I've dabbled slightly in it for over the last few months, but it was Harold's talk, WJ1B at the club, that really made me think, you know, I'm going to go and give this a proper try. And it's been a real pleasure. And what's really helped us is that since Harold gave that talk, in the UK, they've been opening up more and more parks and trails to be included in those that we can activate, and that's helped considerably. And for me personally, to have one which is literally just under a mile's walk from my home QTH here up the hill behind me here is extremely good news, and makes it great when there's decent weather just to pop out for a few hours and do radio portable. And Ken and I were both saying both of us enjoy so much, you know, taking a radio out and trying different antennas out. And the vertical antenna obviously works extremely well and is very, very simple to put up. And obviously when conditions are good and propagation's good, you can make some good long distance contacts. I did find on 40 meters on sideband yesterday that my best QSOs were down to the southwest. So Dave, I was finding myself working into Devon and Cornwall and Bristol, all of whom were giving me very good signal reports, and they were very strong with me as well. So some quite good inter-G work taking place yesterday. And Jeff, I think you'll know Golf 3 Sierra Alpha Oscar G3SAO. He was one of those who gave me a call yesterday, and he was an enormous signal running 5 watts on an indoor antenna. He couldn't believe how close we were, so it was good to get John in the log yesterday, Jeff. So back to you, M0AUG in the group G4IWO.
G4IWO in the group, M0AUG telling. Yeah, fine on that, Nick. And yeah, John, G3SAO is a good friend, and John's a member of the Oldham Radio Club many years ago when I first joined in about 1990. And then his career and other things took him off in other directions. And it might be of interest to you with other connections that John was in fact, until he retired, a teacher at Compton House, which I know you've had connections with in Shaw. And for the last, until the last AGM, John has been treasurer for the last 9 years. Not quite getting up to my 15 years. And John was doing a good shout on that and decided to pass it over to someone else. So would you have contact from John? He'd be pleased about that. Thank you. Right down to you there, Dave, in Taunton. G6 in the group, M0AUG.
6ZSN in the group M0AUG. Not a lot else happening down this neck of the woods, apart from the ordinary mundane. Apart from we are now the proud owners of two little hoglets. They made an appearance from our hog house on the 6th and have been in the garden since ever with their mum. Got some lovely videos of them this morning or last night, whichever it was. One follows the mum like nobody's business, and the other one is a very adventurous one. So apparently they should be leaving the nest soon and making their own way in the world. And I'm now doing another driving course, which I'm off tomorrow into Devon to see how that goes. And see what happens. Hopefully that will give me another qualification if I pass. But apart from that, I've got, as I said, this week off and I've taken next week off. I've just got too much other stuff on to work. I don't have time to go up on the hills either and play radio, but it is nice to hear Nick saying about coming down this neck of the woods on the radio. I managed to hear a few Brit stations. I can't remember where they were, but on channels you don't expect to hear them. So that really did surprise me. M0AUG in the group, G6ZSN.
G6ZSN in the group, M0AUG returning. Yes, you're right on that, Dave, that you can hear stations on channels that you didn't expect to. And I think a lot of it's the interconnection between Polestar and Freestar and everything else. I tend to find that some of the channels, though, the audio quality isn't as good as it would be in its native format because of the other variations coming into it. Particularly good channel, but it is interesting anyway, and all part of the development of the hobby. I go to Germany, DL1 BJW with DL8 PDT, M0AUG in the group. Over to you, Mike.
Delta Lima 1 Bravo Juliet Whiskey. Yeah, I told you about my health problems last meeting. The gallbladder, I think it's gallbladder, not gallbladder problems. I'm still on the waiting list for doctor's consultation in hospital. Well, it's not exactly that I'm looking forward to it, but I would like to get it over with as quickly as possible. And it's really difficult to get a consultation date. So I've got one now for the 1st of July, and let's see what this will bring me. I fear that I have to wait for the operation several weeks or even months then. Now also being vacation and holiday time here. But let's wait and see. Wait and see, literally. Otherwise, much more interesting, much more good news is they are altering the amateur radio how do you call it, rules in Germany, effective from 24th of June, which is very soon. And this includes, for example, that finally, very finally, remote operation will be possible and legal in Germany. So a lot of great new possibilities there to expect. And I'm very keen on getting more information about that, especially about people building up or even some club sections of the German Amateur Radio Club, building up regional remote stations which could be contacted via the internet. I think this will be really quite useful, especially for people who've got problems with their neighbors or with antennas. which they can't put up because of HOA regulations or because of angry neighbors. And so a lot of people having a license and having not done much in the past will get new possibilities and new chances to be active in the hobby, and that's a good thing to be thankful for, I think. So that's the news from here. Passing the microphone to Delta Lima 8 Bravo Delta Tango.
Yeah, this is Delta Lima 8 Bravo Delta Tango for the group. And yes, I have nothing special to report from here, but I missed to say the last over how glad I am that Bob is on the net this evening, and it's very, very good to hear you again on the net. Very great pleasure. And yes, on my side, Mike said the new rules here in Germany, the new regulations for amateur radio, which will allow to let someone work as a trainee on a radio station with a supervisor who is a licensed ham. And we hope that during the summer holidays, our little niece, Ayla, will perhaps visit us or later in the year, and that we will be possible to let her work on perhaps on HF. She has just learned a little bit of English during the last 2 years at school, and so it might be possible that she will enjoy a little bit of ham radio, and this will be good to make another new ham radio trainee from here working. Yes, this is all from my side, so I hand the microphone back to M0AUG for the group.
LAPGT with Dale on the BJW, M0AUG return. Yes, the changes are a little bit similar to what we've had in the UK recently, with the relaxation of some of the rules. And obviously we can let unlicensed people now under supervision go on the radio. And it's a great thing to be able to let people have a chance at coming into that, because that's what we need to get new members coming along, isn't it? So I'm pleased that other countries are doing the same thing as we have done in the UK. And I hope your niece enjoys the radio when the time arrives there. Over to you there, Jeff. Oscar November 8 November Tango, M0AUG.
M0AUG, the Vipo and 8 November Tango. Okie-doke. First of all, congratulations to Nick and to Mike for the nice contacts you made there. Very nice, despite the truth. And okay, Mike, about your house situation, I hope this will be solved quite early. I hope it is not painful, because otherwise that would be no pleasure, of course. And okay, about the rules and Delta Lima changing, that's a good evolution. Okie-doke. Yeah, concerning M17, the new digital mode, the interesting thing is that it is all open source. So, D-Star is something which has been licensed by ICOM and the Japanese Amateur Radio League and so on and so on. And I think YFF and so on is the same. But M17 is completely open source, and that's the interesting thing. And actually, the quality is quite good. I have it on DroidStar, so if you have DroidStar, you can use M17 and you can connect several reflectors again. And there is a guy here at the University of Liège who is working on a transceiver for M17. So this is something which is probably coming into production in some months to come. So that might be something to something to consider here if I have such a repeater so nearby. So that might be something interesting to experiment with. Okay, though, yeah, well, Bob, you remember those 2 letters that I sent you in January? 2 weeks ago, I got them back from the US Post, and there is a yellow sticker on it saying that return to sender, not deliverable to addressee, unable to forward, or something like that. So I both get them back on the same day, by the way, in my letterbox. So I will look to that, Bob. I will send you a mail just to see if I really have your good postal addresses. That could be also a problem from my side, of course. Okay, so that's the news after January back into, well, the end of May. Mike Zero, AUG, the group, over 8 November Tango.
Well, it ain't November Tango in the group M0 AUG. Yes, fine, that, Jeff. It took longer to get the gap back than it did bother to get there in the first place, Jeff. And yeah, it'll be interesting to find out what was wrong with the address that caused it to be returned. And it's always interesting to find out what the postal authorities do with the mail, isn't it? And there we are. Maybe when you get them back and you can talk to Bob, he can perhaps clarify the situation for you. Over to you there, Bob. November 4 X-ray Alpha Tango, Mike 0 Alpha Uniform Golf.
Mike 0 Alpha Uniform Golf. This is November 4 X-ray Alpha Tango. First of all, Jeff, if you have a pencil there, I don't mind passing it over the air. If you want yours, it has my address as FCC listed as Vincenttown, New Jersey, which should work. But actually, I live at 15 Maidstone Place, Southampton, New Jersey, 08088-1252. So if you need a repeat on that, just let me know and I'll give it to you. Second, POTA. I noticed that Great Britain now has a listing of 1,180 parks on the air. Their highest number, though, is 1306. Whether the other just aren't on the air or what, but their highest number right now that I have as of this morning was 1303. So there are a lot of parks out there, and boy, I'd like to work a few more. I think that I have 9 so far in the UK, but I'm not positive of that. When I left, I was right at around 800 parks on the air, and I'm not much over that now because I really haven't back into it yet, especially with conditions the way they have been. But I'm striving for that 1,000. Just if I hear one, and especially if it's a new one, I'm definitely going to work him. And Mike, I hope your consultation goes all right, and wish you all the best of luck on that. Let me see. I can't read my other note here. Oh, the AMRAD rules in the
N4XAT.
So that the people, the youngsters on the key, we always have a little more to them, and we send their name to get them interested. The more people that we can get interested that are still learners or that aren't hands that would like, once they hear that Morse code, or they even talk on the radio, maybe not talking as much today because they all have their cell phones, but when they hear these strange signals, say FT8 or CW, a lot of young people say, hey, that's interesting, and I think I'll try that out. So that's good that we can now, that you can now do, or you will be able to do trainees in the near future. Let's see if that's about all I have on this go around as far as I can see. So back to you, Jeff, in the UK, and 0 AUG, November 4, 3 Alpha Tango.
Alpha Tango in the group M0 AUG. Yes, fine, not there, but nothing heard again from you, Lee. So I don't know. You may be at the club this evening and just connected. I don't know. But, come on. Right, back over to you there, Nick. I think it's probably time to getting round to finals with not that many people on the net this evening. And obviously there's still a bit of sunshine for us to enjoy outside there. So G4IW in the group, M0AUG.
M0AUG in the group from G4IWO. Yeah, a couple of things to pick up from the discussion there. Mike and Adriana, when your niece is with you, you'll need to let me know in advance over the summer because we'll have for quite a bit of time. I know they're coming to France with us, our two grandsons, and I'll take a radio with me. But we'll have them at various points over the summer holidays when the school finishes. So it will be good to sort out between us a QSO, even if it was just on XLX 305D, you know, just as an example of talking radio. And then the next time, if they both enjoyed it, to try one on HF would be a lot of fun. So just have a think about that one. And yeah, to Jeff on the M17 new digital mode. Of course, Ira Brodsky, KC9CC, who gave that talk at the club a week or so ago on PSK Reporter, he wrote an article in the May edition of Radcom about the M17 project in great detail. If anyone wants a copy of it, I'll photocopy the files and save them as a PDF file and send them across to you if anyone would like a copy of that Radcom article that Ira wrote, which goes into a lot of technical detail about the mode and how it developed and so on. So it was quite an interesting read. Yeah, I didn't realise, Jeff, that John had been involved in Crompton House School, as you mentioned, and I believe that their amateur radio club is still active in the school, which is really, really great, isn't it? I'm really pleased that they've managed to get a group of kids there interested and enjoying that as a hobby, and that's a great thing. So yeah, good to hear people tonight, and I'm hoping. Someone said it. Well, I think a couple of people mentioned it tonight, but HF is so unpredictable. So unpredictable. You know, we're complaining now about the propagation, and you could turn the radio on at 9 o'clock tonight on, say, 20 meters, and suddenly make an unexpected pile of contacts into South America, even though you hadn't heard any South American stations when you tuned across the band. So, you know, there's a bit like the weather we've got. Radio propagation is somewhat unpredictable at the moment, isn't it? Even though we're at the top of the current sunspot cycle, if not at the top of it. So anyway, good to hear people tonight and a nice chat, and catch you all in the next week's net. M0AUG in the group, G4IWO.
G4IWO in the group, M0AUG returning. Just a bit of a drop out towards the end there, Nick, but we got the gist of it. I don't think in actual fact I don't know whether the radio club was actually looking at Crompton House when John was there. I know he took time away from the Oldham club for many, many years and didn't come back into it until a lot more recently. So maybe that was something that came along when I think the gentleman was called Chris, and he was running the radio club there. But that's where John used to teach anyway. So thanks for joining me this evening and keeping us in touch with the YouTube channel and all the other bits and pieces there, Nick. And I'll bring you in right from the very end in case there's any finals you want to just pass over. Back to you there, Dave. G6 is ZSN in the group, M0AUG for your finals, Dave.
M0AUG in the group, G6ZSN. Yeah, once again, thanks very much for running the net, Jeff. A pity there weren't a few more, but it was a good net anyway, and learning about a new digital mode. I'm not going to buy any more radio's not at the moment, so I can run it, I'm afraid. I've got enough with the HF ones I've got. I will hopefully see you all next week, providing nothing happens again to me. And have a good weekend, everyone, and hope the weather stays fine, apart from Mike's prediction of ungodly weather over Germany. I hope it doesn't turn out like that, Mike, and good luck with your appointment as and when you do get it. M0AUG in the group, G6ZSN.
G6ZSN in the group, M0AUG returning. Yes, fine on that day, and thanks as always for joining us this evening, and I hope all goes well with you during the next week. Right, over to Northern Germany for finals. DL1 BJW, DL8 BDT. Take it away, Mike, and I hope all goes well with your appointment for the hospital there. M0AUG in the group.
Delta Lima 1 Bravo Juliet Whiskey with the final. Yes, thank you very much. First of all, thank you, Jeff, for excellent hosting work as always. And thank you to all of you for your company and good thoughts. And it was a pleasure to be part of the meeting again. Looking very much forward to next week. One word to Nick. We will keep that in mind, Nick, and give you notice as soon as we know when our great niece will come visiting us. The date is not yet fixed, but we will keep in contact about that, and it would be a real pleasure if the young people could talk to one another. That would be something perhaps forming a basis of new amateur radio enthusiasts growing up. But I'm keeping my fingers crossed for that. We would very much like to do that. Thank you again for all of you, and wishing you all the very best and stay safe. Hoping to see you or hear you all safe and sound next week. So bye-bye from DL1 BJW. Passing the microphone to Delta Lima 8 Bravo Delta Tango for her final.
This is Delta Lima 8 Bravo Delta Tango with the final. Yes, thank you, Jeff, for hosting the net. It was a great pleasure, and was as always very good to stay with all of you. And yes, Nick, also from my side, thank you very much for the offer. I think it would be great if my little niece will be able to talk to you and to the child. This will be very good. I wish you all a great week, and let's hope for the best that radio-wise the conditions will a little bit improve, so that will be possible to make more contacts on HF. So I hand the microphone back to M0AUG for the group.
DL8 BDT with DL1 BJW, M0 in the group returning. Yeah, thank you for that, both of you, and thanks for your contributions this evening, and we hope all goes well, Mike, and best of luck with the Jayo, Angela, and see how we go next week. Now then, I'm just going to jump out of order because I noticed that Keith from the Borders has just connected, so I'll just go over to Keith before I go over to Jeff. The Golf Mike 4 Juliet Kilo Zulu in the group, M0AUG. Good evening, Keith, if you're there.
M0AUG in the group, GM4JKZF. Good evening, Jeff, and everyone. And it's probably a 7-3 as well on this one. My apologies late on parade, making use of the sunshine up here and painting external doors for our catio. The cats are going nuts because we can't let them out because there's no doors on their compound.
So just finished washing the brushes and realised what the time was. So I thought I'd slip up and have a quick hello and goodbye and apologise. I will be with you next week for sure. Radio-wise, not a lot done. Painting most of the time. But what are we at? 7.5 litres. We're almost at the end of the session now. We've got a sparrows in a nesting box on the side of the barn. So I've done all the woodwork apart from a square metre around that. Don't want to disturb them until the youngsters have fledged. So that's what we've been doing this week. Nothing exciting, I'm afraid to say. So, okay, I'll put it back to you there, Jeff. And thanks for letting me in. M0AUG with the group GM4JKZ.
GM4JKZ in the group M0AUG telling. Yeah, fine and lucky for Speakerman, so I thought you'd like a brief over with the group before we call it a draw. So thanks for joining in and we look forward to catching up with you next week. So back to the order where we were. Oscar November 8 November Tango in the group. Over to you, Jeff, for your finals, please. M0AUG.
M0AUG, the group over 8 November Tango. Oh, so very good evening, Keith. Nice to catch up again with you. And you made it during the painting sessions there. Okie doke, brilliant. Okay, Nick, I would like to have that article on M17 from Radcom. I have no subscription to Radcom, but if you could mail me a copy of that article, that would be very nice and very helpful. By the way, M17 seems to be available on is it on PyStar or is it on the new flavor of PyStar, which is called WPSD or something? Because that will give a boost to that new mode, I think. So a lot of people will start to use it because it's available now on PyStar or WPSD. So that is a good evolution, I think. And also in the for modules and for repeaters, it's available now on PyStar and WPSD. So that's nice. And okay, Mike, first of all, Mike, I wish you all the best with your health appointments. I hope that will come okay. And I hope everything will develop in the right direction, in the good direction, I mean by that. And thank you very much, Jeff, for hosting the net here. And also thank you very much, Nick, for streaming the net, because I think that's very useful. Like Bob said, it was his way to follow a little bit what was happening here in the club. So I think it's very, very useful and very worthwhile to do that. Oh, safety please to everyone. Hope to catch you all again next week. I think next Wednesday we have a meeting, a lecture, I think. I should look to the agenda, but I think so. I would say safety please to everyone. I hope to catch you again. Mike 0 AUG, the group, over 8 November Tango.
Well, November Tango in the group M0AUG telling. Yes, fine and that, Jeff, and thanks for joining the net as usual and all your contributions as usual. And no doubt when we've all finished, you'll be sending a picture through just to finish the evening off. So thanks again, Jeff, and thanks to you, Mike and Adriana, as well for your friendship, all the three of you over there on the continent. And also to you there, Bob, in the States. Great to have you back on as a friend as well. And then the 4 actually Alpha Tango in the group, M0AUG for your finals.
0AUG in the group, November 4, X-Ray Alpha Tango. First of all, good evening to you, Keith. Welcome aboard. Sorry I couldn't answer late, but good hearing your voice. Here we're in the midst of a heat wave. Currently, it's 92 degrees Fahrenheit, 34 Celsius. So it's pretty warm, and even in my shack, it's a little warm today. Normally, when I close the door to the main house, I don't get too much air conditioning out here, and it gets pretty warm. But I can stand it to be on the radio. Next, I have a question for Nick. I've been looking for the last lecture, the PSK Reporter, and I can't find it on the Denby Dale site
on YouTube, and I'm wondering if it's listed, and if it is listed, exactly how it's listed, because I can't find it. Let's see. I guess that's about it from here, Jeff. In the UK, thank you for running the net once again. I look forward to it, and I'm so happy to be home and be able to get back on again. And I hope to be here again next Thursday with all and good hearing your voices, where I can talk back with you. M0AUG with the group N4XAT. And 4XAT in the group M0AG returning. Yeah, we're also happy to have you all of us back on the group there, Bob, and look forward to catching up with you again next week. I did save Nick till the end so he could wrap it up so he can probably answer your question as well. So I did say to Keith, thanks for joining, although it was a bit late and short. It was glad to have you on anyway as a restaurant painting. So over to you for your finals there, Nick. G4IW in the group, M0AUG.
M0AUG in the group from G4IW. Yeah, thanks very much, Jeff. I'll come to those questions in a second. Next week on Wednesday, we've got Kilo 6 Echo Bravo Lindy, who wrote a 3-part series in QST, the ARRL magazine, about the quality of transmitted audio. He's going to give us an introduction or a précis, really, of that series of articles that he wrote for QST. And if you look at his QRZ page, he talks about the fact he spent 55 years as a broadcast engineer. So I guess he does understand something about transmitted audio quality. So the articles were very interesting in QST, and I'm sure this will be an interesting presentation next week. Yeah, I had a bit of a problem with the PSK reporter video. Something went wrong with it, but I managed to retrieve it and hopefully sort it out. So it is now up on the YouTube channel, Bob. So if you go back into YouTube, you should see it's appearing on mine now. And I put it up earlier this morning. That it is up there now. So the talk is there. And in the latest email that I send out about the meeting next week, I'll also attach to it a link to the file that Ira sent me of his presentation, because in giving his talk, he talked about all kinds of links and other places for people to go to look at, and they're all contained on the slides, which of course you miss when you're watching the video. So he sent me a PDF file of his whole presentation, so that'll be there as well to download. But it is definitely now on the YouTube channel. So I'd like to wish everyone a really good evening, and it's been great to meet people again, and good to see Keith just popping in for a bit in between his painting, and I'm sure he's looking forward to getting that job done. 73s to Andy, to Echo Zero Romeo Echo Echo on the YouTube channel, and 73s to our YouTube listeners who pick up and listen to the digital net over the coming week. So, of course, a big thank you to Jeff for the great job you do, Jeff, in sharing the net. So back to you, and I wish you a very, very pleasant evening. M0AUG in the group G4IWO.
G4IWO in the group, M0AUG returning. Yeah, fine, and Nick, and thanks for the update on that. I've just seen the talk on the PSK reporter up on the website there, so it is available. And yeah, the slides would be interesting. I've not been able to make the Wednesday meetings for one reason or another, so it's useful to have them on the channel as well. So thanks everybody for your contribution this evening. We started off with about I think 3 of us, and then it grew to 5, and it grew from there. And thanks everybody for your contribution. Have a good week. And as everybody said, Mike, hope all goes well on the medical side as well. And I know you're all concerned about Maureen, and sending good wishes accordingly, as we do to you in your situation. So I'll close the net for this evening. Thanks everybody for joining. We look forward to welcoming you all back a week today on the Denby Dale Digital Net for another session. Thank you all, everybody, for contributing to the net, and thanks all for your friendship. This is MC